Hello everyone, my name is Karina Liliana Daza Gonzalez from the course Materials Designs for Face-to-Face Environments. Today we're going to talk about two important questions. So our first question is, what should English language learning materials have? First of all, the teaching material is usually used as a link or connected element between the teacher and reality. Ideally, all teaching and learning should be done in contact with real life, but is it not always possible or advisable, and that is why we resort to resources of material or materials that serve as a bridge between what is taught and learned and the real world. In general, when we talk about teaching materials or resources, we are referring to a series of means of or instruments that favor the teaching and learning process. Here we have some teaching materials. As you know, the teaching material plays a very crucial role. So we have 2 points here. Number one, the teaching materials motivates teaching and learning if the material is sustainable and is used appropriately. On the other hand, facilitates the learning of concepts that they developed of procedures and strategies, and the formation of attitudes and values related to what is taught and learned. Here we can see some teaching aids and resources. As we know, there are various types of teaching aids and resources, and they all play an important role in certain situations. The most used are the blackboard, the overhead projector, the textbooks, magazines and newspapers, flashcards. Also travel to a country, visit excursions. Some of these media are purely visual or auditory, but others integrate image and sounds. They are media that, by their nature, require a passive attitude on the part of the students, but others are interactive and require more activity and participation. And finally, there are other means that put the students in contact with the reality as it happens when they travel and interact with native English speakers. Here we have a second question is proposals for principled approaches to the development of ELT materials. The history of foreign language teaching has been marked by the various methodological change that have been taking place in it. This is due to several reasons, among them the search for a unique method capable of solving the problems of language learning and teaching and the frustration of many students when learning a new language. But above all, these changes have been defined by the different linguistic and psychological currents that stood out at the time they were produced. On the other hand, the materials must contribute both to the general training of students, to the development of their general knowledge, and to their specific training in certain subjects of areas of knowledge. The most suitable curricular materials will be those that the best reflect our conceptions of teaching and that are consistent with the learning theories that are most appropriate in each context. Currently, learning is conceived as an active and dynamic process that involves selecting information, processing, and organizing it. Relating is to previous experience, and knowledge that we have, using it in appropriate contexts and situations, evaluating and reflecting on the effectiveness of the results. The materials must facilitate the progressive construction of knowledge through significant learning that will enrich the complex connect, cognitive structures of the students. It must be taken into account that a language is not only a system of forms, structures, and words, but from the pragmatic point of view, it is also a system of communicative acts. The materials used for teaching and learning English must be designed and used in a way that favors the development of a. Oral and writing communicative competence, both in linguistic and communicative activities, and in skills, abilities, strategies, and procedures that promotes the adequate use of oral and writing English. B. Attitudes that values that favor a certain autonomy and self-regulation of learning. And C. The self-evaluation of the teaching and learning process. The teaching aids and resource should also offer opportunities for students to solve questions and problems similar to those that they will need to solve in their real life when exercising their professions. This is achieved by solving tasks that are related to the world of education, like planning education work, analysis, and comments on teaching and learning situations. The authenticity of the materials has been recommended since the first levels of education. Thus, for example, in primary, the basic curriculum design established that receive recitative skills can be systematically trained through audiovisual means. For their part, secondary school curricular designs recommend resource banks so that students work on projects with a large amount of authentic material in English that the students can turn to in search of the information they need in each case. So here, the most recommendable authentic materials could mention are the articles of the education magazines, the books on education subjects, the videos and documentaries on subjects of their profession, and the last one, the news and the information of the web pages on institution and educational subject. This is all for today. Thank you so much for listening and see you next time.